Well, that's the one that had to do with the passage of those bills. But now we move on to this other matter, which has to do with the leadership of, let me say, the Senate in the 8th Assembly. And it's ongoing at the moment. We had initially spoken with Senator Lawan about the same matter. And then Senator Saraki is also here with us today to give his perspective on the matter. There were some headlines which made the rounds yesterday, that the APC had come up with certain criteria in terms of those who were, certain qualifications to assume that Senate presidency. And in that report, they say that you didn't fit into those criteria. So I'm wondering if you've seen that headline and what you make of it.
No, I don't think there's any such thing as party coming up with any criteria. I mean, the rules of the Senate are very clear on those that can contest for the leadership. And I think the election is guided by the rules of the Senate. And so, but I'm definitely sure that there's no criteria that the party has come up with.
Okay, so at the moment, why is it that it hasn't been sorted out in terms of the party presenting a consensus candidate?
Well, I think that the party has been discussing on different issues on how to move forward. But I think the most important thing, the party has made it very clear that their position is really advisory. At the end of the day, it is the senators that would, at the end of the day, elect who they want to preside over them. And I think the party has come out very clearly. I think the problem we tend to have sometimes is that, we used to way things have been done in the past. And sometimes even us or those who are not participating, those who are observing and listening, are still fixing those things, and we expect certain things to be done certain way that we used to have it's been done before. And I think that we must begin to accept that the times that we're in are different, and that sort of things will emerge differently. The party has said, look, this is purely the position of the party's advisory. At the end of the day, the senators or the National Assembly will elect their leaders. But before we're used to the big stake of the party saying this, and maybe that's why a lot of people like this is different. What is going on here?
Well, for some, they would disagree that it's not entirely different, because it would seem as if it's also zoned. Has it been zoned? Because we haven't seen.
That's not come out.
We haven't seen some players from other parts.
That could be. Those are the people that have shown interest. I mean, I think the party leaders of the party have said many times that merit should be one of the main factors as opposed to where it is zoned from. But I think all that now it's a bit really theoretical, because you're 4 days to election.
And you think you got the merit?
Yeah, of course. I believe I do have the merit. I really believe that at this particular time in our national development, and based on what has happened over the last few years and the election that has gone through, I think there's a strong message coming from Nigerians, very strong from Nigerians, which is, we're expecting change, we're expecting things to be done better, there's a lot of expectations. You remember I was here a year ago, and I did tell you when I was here that, look, my own assessment of the way things are, there must be a change. We must move away from the way things are being done. The question was whether we could convince Nigerians that yes, and I think Nigerians took a lot of risks in saying, okay, we will believe in your party, we will, vote out a government that we largely believe was incompetent. We will not go for sentiments of the issues. It's all about, we want results. And I think after going through that in electing the president, I think that the National Assembly as well, which is very key in the success of the president, we must move away from politics or politicking and focus more on capacity and merit, because that is important in ensuring that the government at the end of the day meet the promises that we've all promised Nigerians. I mean, Nigerians are waiting to see us deliver, and I believe maybe that is why some of the national leaders have said that merit is key, and I believe that.
Chairman, sorry, comment. I asked Senator Lawal the same question. What new thing are you bringing to the Senate that will make it more outstanding?
There are a number of things. I mean, we've just been talking earlier on, talking about the issue of this 46 bills passed. But first and foremost, I think what is important is that there must be purposeful leadership, based on, as I said earlier on, that Nigerians want to really connect with the National Assembly. They want to see that are we addressing people-oriented bills, what kind of laws are we going to pass? And I think one of the issues is to have what I call priority bills. Whether you're APC or PDP, these are issues that will support the government and bring development to the people, that impact on your life, on my life, and different sectors of the society. For example, if you look today on the issue of where we are on revenue, I mean, one of the major challenges for us now is on the fiscal side, where the majority of the states can't pay salaries, federal government is struggling. We've been a monoproduct economy. We've been talking all along, how do we diversify the economy? Our non-oil revenue is probably, less than 5% of GDP compared to other parts. We must begin to address that. How do we improve on the area of taxation, on inland revenue, things like what do we do on VAT, for example, to improve the tax there? What do we do on some of the taxes on gas? I mean, you talk about power development. I criticized some time ago. You can open as many gas power plants around the whole place. If there's no gas, they're just going to have those things there. But where is the investment coming on gas if we don't address those incentives there? So there's some of these things that need to be done. There are issues. So as a legislative in the 8th Senate, if one gets the opportunity, is to sit down quickly and say these are priority bills that must be passed, that must get, well, maybe not 10 minutes, they must get on the fast track, so that you and me can say, yes, I can see this is impacting on my life. How am I going to get jobs on justice? I mean, if you look at I'm happy to see that, like, for example, the criminal reform law that was just passed, fantastic. Those are the kind of things that no matter what we talk, no matter what kind of talk we say about fighting crime, fighting corruption, if you don't have those kind of laws in place that have just been passed, you're not going to go anywhere. That shows you the importance. Now, that's, for example, I think we need to look at the issue on civil procedures. One of the key things you hear people say is that Nigeria scores very low on investment, doing business. People, because why? Justice is slow here in getting. Commercial cases stay ages in court. So I believe that an accelerated civil procedure is something that is priority. It's something that, I believe under one's leadership, we will make a priority, which will improve making Nigeria a better place for foreign investment, because now you'll be able to address, disputes that should take months to settle. Sometimes they're there years. Of course, we've talked about the issues of things like PIB. So one is to prioritize it. Secondly, is also the budget itself. We must make the process better. We must ensure that, we can be able to have a better budget process that is more accountable. And also, we must look at inwards as well. I mean, and as we address the countries for reform, we ourselves in the Senate must look to what I would call openness, more openness. There's no doubt about that. That is key. And also in the area of oversight, which we must accept is very, very weak at the moment. That we must again reform that and begin to see how we can be definitely, because the issue of oversight is really the bedrock of accountability and probity. Once you don't address that, then it's difficult for you to really serve the Nigerians that we're there to serve. So the openness in how we do our business in the National Assembly, I know that's been a topical issue, but I think